Hello, abnormal family. I got another encounter for you today. This is going to be a 2 encounter drop day. A lot of you said you enjoy getting 2 encounters a day. So we're going to do 2 today. I think you're going to really enjoy this one. It's a little bit different also than what we've been putting out. But I kind of like the variety sometimes. I like to break it up a little bit, and I think this one, I think it fits the the narrative of breaking up what we've been going into. This is a pretty good one. And I look forward to seeing what you all think this is at the end. And don't forget to smash that like button. I have something to share with you, Mike. This happened a few years ago when I was babysitting my grandkids, Ben and Sarah, at my home in Tennessee. I live in the country, right on a river, and we have a high fence around our yard to keep them safe from a 20-foot drop to the water. Every morning Ben and Sarah would arrive at sunrise, and I'd make them breakfast before they'd head out to play. They loved playing with the toys I kept in a small Rubbermaid shed, but one day they started telling me that there were kids in the woods behind our house, watching them. I knew that was impossible. The woods are overgrown with briars and snakes, and it's not a safe place for kids to be back there. But Ben and Sarah insisted that they saw kids laughing at them. So I started keeping an eye on things without them knowing. I'd watch from the window, and sure enough, Ben and Sarah would stare into the woods, then laugh and wave. It was like they were interacting with someone, but I couldn't see anyone there. It was really strange. I was determined to get to the bottom of things, so I started sitting outside with my book while Ben and Sarah played. I wanted to see if I could hear anything unusual or catch a glimpse of what they were talking about. At first, everything seemed normal, but then one evening, I heard it too. Laughter coming from the woods. I looked up just in time to see something move out of the corner of my eye. My heart started to race. I yelled for the kids to come inside right away. We quickly went in, locked the doors, and tried to shake off the feeling of unease. When their parents arrived, I told them what had happened, but they just dismissed it, saying it was probably an animal that had made the noise. But I knew what I saw, and I knew what I heard. It didn't sound like any animal I'd ever heard before. It sounded like children laughing, and it sent chills down my spine. I couldn't shake the feeling that something strange was going on in those woods, and I was determined to find out what it was. I was sipping my coffee and enjoying a quiet morning when I noticed something strange. The kids' toys were scattered all over the yard. I knew we had put them away in the Rubbermaid shed the day before, so I was confused. It looked like someone had gone into the shed and deliberately taken out every single toy and scattered them across the lawn. I realized that something or someone had been in our yard overnight. I tried to tell myself it was just a raccoon or a stray animal, but deep down I knew that it wasn't true. The toys were too neatly arranged to deliberately be placed. It was as if someone had been playing with them or trying to send a message. I'll never forget that night. I was startled by the sound of the swing set screeching, and when I looked out the window I saw it moving on its own. I tried to tell myself it was just the wind, but deep down I knew better. As soon as I turned on the porch light, a face appeared in the window staring at me, an unblinking gaze. It was a kid, but not just like any kid I'd ever seen before. It had a full beard and was covered in hair like it had been living in the woods for years. I screamed, and the thing screamed back at me, its eyes glowing with an oddly glow like an animal. My husband came running with the shotgun and threw open the window and fired. The thing was hit, but it didn't fall. Instead, it flew across the yard like a rag doll, and another one grabbed it, and it ran to the back of the house. We turned on the floodlights, and that's when we saw it leap off the bluff into the river. It was like nothing I'd ever seen before. It was as if I had no fear of death, or it had no fear of death, no fear of anything. And as we watched, more of them emerged from the woods on the other side of the river. Their eyes were glowing in the floodlights. We knew then that we may be in danger. Those creatures were only about 3 to 4 foot tall, but they were so unsettling. They all ran into the woods, disappearing into the darkness. But the terror didn't end there. At night, we started hearing crying. sounds coming from across the river. It sounded like a chorus of children wailing, but it was unlike anything we'd ever heard. It really bothered us. My husband has taken to standing watch at night, trying to keep us safe from whatever is out there. We've called the game ranger, but whenever they come to check, they don't find anything. It's as if these creatures are hiding, waiting for their moment to strike us. We don't know what to do. I've never heard of anything really like that. That is a pretty different encounter. I would definitely have my lights where I could turn them on. I have heard crying in the woods before, and I think that is really weird to hear the crying. A lot of people try to blame it on animals, but I think you know the difference when you hear an animal cry between, and a baby crying. You can tell the difference. And I know what I heard crying, it wasn't an animal. It was definitely sounded like a baby. And I know a lot of people heard it on that live. I think there's a lot of things out there that we don't know what they are. There's more than just Bigfoot and Dogman out there. There's a lot of other creatures that haven't been seen yet or discovered. So there's no telling what came up to your house, but I definitely keep my windows locked, my blinds pulled, and my doors locked, and be careful and pay attention. Hopefully they're gone, but I don't know. If you shot that one and it actually died, they may be mad, planning revenge. So I would be careful. Thanks for sending your story in, and everybody, thank you for smashing that like button. I look forward to seeing your comments on this one, and don't forget to keep your head on a swivel. Don't be something's dinner, and I'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks, guys, very much.